Hi, everyone. I am so sorry that we're not live with you and that you're watching a replay. I've tried for 15 minutes now to get Zoom to talk to Facebook and go live like it's supposed to. It was working yesterday. It's not working today, but we tried. We tried to come to you live. And there's no good way through Facebook to go live where I can also have both of these women with me today. So this was our next best, so you get the information that you need. And so today we are talking about the 3 mistakes that authors make that keep their book from getting discovered, or their books from getting discovered. And this came up for a variety of reasons, but I hear this a lot from people who are wanting to, they come to me, they hire me, and they're like, hey, Rita, the book is the new business card, right? The book is the new business card. I need a book. I need it. They told me I couldn't speak somewhere because I don't have a book. A podcast wouldn't book me because I'm not a published author. And I feel like I would have more credibility with my business and more opportunities if I could just write a book and get it up there, right? And so then you usually circle back with me and you guys say, hey, like I wrote a book, right? And I'm like, great, cool. And then you're like, but Rita, I need to hire you because my book is getting no traction and I'm not seeing the results I thought from it and I don't know why. And I'll ask some questions like, did you have a launch strategy in place before you wrote the book? Like, how did you come at writing the book? Like, let's talk about what your goals were and let's talk about, so that got me thinking about this. And I talked to both Katie Riess, who's here with me today. You guys have met her before because she's done a masterclass here. If you don't know her, she'll be introducing herself soon. And Meredith about this because Meredith is a publisher and owns Eaton Press. And Katie is a publicist and owns KT Media Strategies. And they help authors, right? I mean, that's what they do. They both help authors get the opportunities they want, make more money, make a bigger impact, right? And so I went to them to talk about this, and they told me about, they answered all the questions, and they were great. And then they told me about something, and I was like, okay, that's it. We have to have this. I have to put it in my community. People have to know about this. So I'm really excited to bring all of this information to you today. So before we hop into it, let's start with Katie, because you've been here before. So Katie, why don't you go ahead again, though, for people who did not catch you and did not catch your masterclass. And I will, full caveat, guys, so I want to put this because it's not like bad, but Katie's my client. It's not bad. I love Katie as a client. And I've worked with Meredith before as well. And I'm hoping Meredith is going to be a client. But Meredith is also my book coach. So I'm using a program of Meredith. So Meredith is helping me write my book. And Katie, in addition to being my client, has helped get me on the news. She is my publicist, right? So these are my personal people. This is my personal publicist and my personal book coach. And that's why I have total confidence in everything that they're going to tell you today. But I feel like that's important to just put out there. A, so you can trust them. B, so like my relationship to these people as well. So Katie, though, for people who did not catch our masterclass that we did together, why don't you introduce yourself and tell people in your own words what you do?
Yeah, hi guys. I am super excited to be talking to Rita's people again because I love you guys. And she's just so amazing. And yeah, we've gotten to know each other really well. And so we trust each other a lot, which I think is really important in a relationship, both as a business coach and a publicist. But yes, I'm a publicist. I'm a former TV news producer turned publicist. So I worked in everything from local news up in New York to here in DC. I worked at Channel 4 and I've worked at CBS News and I worked for a show that was on Bloomberg TV. I've done just about everything when it comes to TV news production. And then I wanted to flip the script a little bit and help people instead of helping news organizations, and instead of bothering people to come be on the news, I wanted to really help people get their message out to the world through the media. And I really believe that the media is one of the best ways that you can do that. And one of the best ways to also be on the media is to have a book. And so I've worked with a lot of authors over the year. I've done a lot of book launches. But Meredith and I got together and said, hey, we should really put the marketing and publicity into the program in the beginning instead of waiting until the end. And so that's why we're here and we're doing this, and we're really super excited. And we hope that we can help as many people as possible to really get their message out there, because there's a lot of good ones out there. And a lot of businesses can really benefit from that type of credibility and that type of amplification that you can do through getting media coverage.
Yeah, very, very true. I know that to be true. Meredith, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, because they have not met you before necessarily. So tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how we got here today.
All right, absolutely. So I am Meredith Eaton, and I am the CEO of Eaton Press, which is a self-publishing company. So we work with people to help them. We provide the services that they need in order to get their book out to the world. Before Eaton Press, I did work running a small independent imprint where we published all manner of things, mostly fiction. And slowly over time, I started evolving into the nonfiction world because, for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is because with fiction, the recipe for success, the formula is very convoluted, it's very different, it depends on so many factors. But with a nonfiction book where you're writing the book just to, or not just to, but to advance your business or to become a thought leader or get more speaking gigs, whatever, the formula for success is actually pretty clear. There's this very clear process, step 1, step 2, all the way to take it through if you follow it. And I love that. I love having a plan. I love being able to follow a plan. And as an entrepreneur, I love working with other people, other entrepreneurs and business leaders to be able to help them achieve those goals. So that was kind of what I was doing. And then hooked up with Katie, and it was just the biggest mistake is always the waiting on the publicity. And it was just
meant to be
a perfect match. Yes,
exactly. A perfect match, right? Like a perfect match. And so, like I said, I had talked to Meredith a while ago about something else, and I was kind of mentioning that I know I've needed to write a book forever. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who are like, yeah, I want to write a book. 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 Like, I've said it since I went on 35 dates in 35 days, and I had the whole blog, and people were like, you should turn this into a book. In fact, I still have in a box, like all of the things. I think I still have it. I mean, I might have, no, I still have it. I kept it, all of the things like from my 35 dates. So like little cards or like little notes or ticket stubs or whatever. So that with that and the blog and all this stuff, I could put together this really like great book. And then I didn't do it. And in a way, like timing, I think plays a role. Like it always works out the way it's supposed to work out, because now I have a bigger story to tell about where I am than it's not really so much 35 dates centric anymore. Like that one would have been the blog, is that, but like I know I need to do it, and the reason I need to do it is because I'm stepping into bigger speaking opportunities. I'm stepping in to do that. I need more media. I need the book. I need more of the credibility and the authority that comes from having a book. And it is true that a book is your new business card. And so that's how I started talking to Meredith about like, well, this is an area where Rita needs to make myself do it, because I'm obviously not doing it. Like I'm just sitting around. And it was really because, yes, I knew what writing a book meant, but I really didn't have a good guideline of like all of the steps. And so when I've been like looking through what Meredith and I are going to do together and like starting that process, like it makes everything so much clearer, right? So let's talk about like the title of this are the 3 mistakes that authors make that keep their book from being discovered. And mistake number 1 is really what I say, like they haven't written a good book. Like sometimes flat out people just write bad books. Like let's just be honest. Not everybody is meant to write a book. Hire a ghostwriter. You might have a great idea, right? Like own if you're not a good writer, and like bring in a team to help write your vision for you. But in this context, right, I think from the business building context, people like me who want bigger, to be on podcasts and the stage and on the media for all the things it brings, a mistake would be we just think we could just sit down and write our story, right? Like, oh, like this is my thing here, or like 10 tips to make more sales, or here's how I became an entrepreneur, the story of Rita, and we just like sit down, right, write out a thing, and then it's like, okay, cool, right? And then you just try to figure out like, where am I getting it published, or am I sending it to a book, a publishing company, or, so it's that they actually didn't, when I say didn't write a good book, it's they didn't write the book for the intended purpose. So they just sat down, wrote something, and then when they're going out to get the speaking, or they're going out to get the media, or it wasn't the right book for the goal that they actually had. Because I think people just think, write any book, write a book, and that's all they care about is you have a book, and then I can get on any stage and I can get on any media platform. As long as I can say I'm a published author, I'm good, right? So where's the truth in that, Meredith, and where is there not truth in that?
So, well, there is some truth in it, in the sense that writing the book is half the battle. So being able to write the book, and the fact that with these types of books, with nonfiction books, you're writing for your business, you don't have to be a novelist. You don't have to have a degree in writing. You know, that there's a lot of ways you can do it, and there's resources, there's ghostwriters and that kind of thing. But that's the first thing, is a lot of people sort of like, oh, I'm not a writer, I couldn't possibly. But that is a hurdle we can easily overcome. So, but the other piece of it is that, yes, they kind of know they're going to write the book to get more clients, let's say, one of the main reasons. And they know who their client is. In all their other sales material, they're very clear on it, who their target is, how to reach them, where are the paths that they're hanging out. But then they write this book that has none of those things in it, that they just talked about whatever, their story.
Give an example. Give an example. So, like, let's say that the target market is what? Like, come up with somebody's target market.
Okay, so someone's target market is mid-size businesses. So not startups, people making over 7 figures, let's say.
And who specifically? Because a business doesn't buy a book, right?
Right.
So, like, who specifically are they trying to reach?
So I'm just thinking of a client I worked with recently. So an executive coach who does big long-term strategic planning. So taking companies into the future. So multi-year processes, big dollar, clients. So it is essential for this person to have a book that can talk about her philosophies, that can talk about the process of her work, especially because she doesn't just go in, do a couple seminars, and it's over. This is like a multi-year process where she works with every, different pieces of the company, the whole thing. So she wrote a book that was just very academic, and it was very accurate, very true. It had good, useful information, but it didn't put her personality through. It didn't tell anybody anything about the way that she works with them, which is a little different than what people might think of with their traditional coach. And so it didn't get any traction. She didn't get anywhere with it. And she kind of realized it after the fact. So now then she came to me, so we're working on her next book, which is all storytelling about her clients that shows instead of tells the way that she works with them and the results that she gets, because she does transformational work with these companies, these big, huge companies. And so we're able to break down all of her experiences in a way that shows and feels that the reader feels the triumphs as they go through it.
Yeah, that's such a good, so like, I wrote some notes while you were talking, because what came up for me, right, is if she's an executive coach and she wants to get in and she wants to do all of this big picture strategy with like the high level C-suite executives and everything, right? But here's the thing, right? The person that would probably make the call to bring her in is not the high level necessarily,
right,
or executive, or the one that will decide that that's like it's somebody else. It's somebody in the training department or in the educational department, or it's like human resources, or it's somebody like that, right? So when they're reading the book, they're not going to know all the like detailed, strategic, academic stuff from that point of view. They're not a C-suite executive. They're not doing the long-term planning. They're not trying to actually implement the information. They're trying to see, do you know what you're talking about? Are you a credible expert? And do I like you? Right? Like,
exactly.
If I like you and I feel like I can trust you and I feel like you know what you're talking about, then I'm probably going to bring you into the next step, right? And there are going to be a couple of steps that happen for you to then get hired to come in and do the consulting or do the training or do the whatever. So sometimes like we're writing to the people we do the work for, but if our goal is something else, the person that we need to connect with the book might not be the same people.
Exactly.
Work for, right? And also my favorite quote, it's not my quote, I wish it was my quote, is if information is what people wanted, right? If that's what they really wanted, then textbooks would be bestsellers. Right? Information is what people wanted, textbooks would be bestsellers. Nobody's like going out and just buying textbooks off the shelf, right? People want to be entertained.
Yes.
Like it's that combination of who are you entertaining? right? And how are you combining education and entertainment in a way that's doing exactly what you have to do anywhere else to get a client, right? No, like, trust. Like, it's a cliche phrase, but it's so true. They have to know you're an expert, that you have solutions to problems that they care about, and that you will get the results that they want, and you're going to be easy to work with, and they're going to like you, and all of this stuff, right? That you fit the values and the culture of them or their company or their business. So such a great point, right? That we just, like, because I would be included in that if I had said just write what we know, thinking, well, of course, like, then people will love me and know that I'm good at what I do. And people don't care about me. They just want to know that I know my stuff, right? And that's not true, correct?
Exactly. And in that example too, because she's a coach, she's spending like a year and a half, 2 years with these people and doing some uncomfortable stuff at times, forcing them outside of their comfort zones. They have to feel like she's someone they can trust and feel safe with. An academic book doesn't accomplish that at all.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like such a good point, right? So guys, when you're sitting down and writing a book, like, yes, there's a little bit of truth into just write a book. Like, in fact, I think I forget his name. He's like a total expert at writing like 1 million books, and he writes them really short and really quick, and he's like really great. He's really famous. Totally forgot his name. I'll remember it one day. But like, there's a lot of truth to, if you have 20 blog posts, or you have 20 tips that you've put out there, you could write like a quick book of like 20 actions to take to grow your business by Rita Goodroe, right? I could easily just put a book out to have a book out, right? And maybe I want to just to be able to feel confident or be able to say I have a book. Like, my goal is I just want to be able to say it. I just want to be able to feel confident when I talk to people. It'll make me feel like an expert. Then yeah, like piecing together just your knowledge and like putting it out there can get that accomplished, right? But if your goal is, but I want it to get me something. I want it to get more than just my internal feeling of like confidence, right? And more than a credit, more than saying I'm a published author, right? Like, then you have to get super strategic about it.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the publicity comes in. And that's where a lot of times people, when the publicity after the book fails a bit and doesn't get you to where you want to go, it's because you targeted the wrong audience to begin with the book.
Yeah, that's the mistake too.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have not announced mistake 2 yet, Katie. You can't give it away. Katie's like, let me answer. I haven't even told them what the mistake. Gosh, no, it's true. We're so excited about all of this, right? But like, so mistake 1, guys, right? You've written a book, yes, but you didn't write a good book, and a good book being one that actually fits with the goal that you want. Right? The mistake number 2 is you have a book, but you don't position it correctly, or you haven't marketed it correctly. So one is you either wrote the wrong book. It's kind of like dating. I would say if your relationship didn't work out or isn't working out, it's either the wrong person or you're dating the right person, but for the wrong reason, right? So like, you either wrote a bad book, meaning one that's not getting you to your goal, or you wrote a good book, but you're not marketing it or positioning it correctly, or both. You wrote the wrong book for the wrong audience and you're marketing it wrong, right? So like, marketing then becomes that second important. It's not a build it and they will come. It's not, oh, well, I'll have a book out on Amazon and I'll just publish on my page that I have a book, and now all of the companies are gonna hire me to come in and be their consultant and their trainer, and also all of the stages are gonna book me to be, because guys, again, everybody has a book now. Like, everybody has a book because a book is a new business card. So a book is good and a book is step 1, right? And the right book to get the right goal is important. But if you don't get it in front of the people that you're trying to get it in front of, if you can't get it into the hands of the right people and get them to read it and get them to learn about it and get them to discover it, right? You're definitely not reaching your goal, even if you wrote the right book, right? So why is it like, it sounds so easy. Well, I wrote a book and I want it to be, let's go with Meredith's example. I want it to be I wrote a book about CEO executives. I want somebody in the company to find it and come hire me to be a consultant. So what mistakes do people make with the marketing then? With something like that?
Usually it's mainly that they wrote it for the wrong audience. And so then they're targeting the wrong audience with the marketing of the book or, you know, the publicity of the book. And
so
they
like in this example, they wrote it for the CEO, the C-level, but really they should have been writing it in our example for human resources or the department that's going to hire them, right? Okay. And then, or what? Or they wrote it for the right audience, but what?
If they write it for the right audience, then they will be able to put it in front of the right audience and like build upon, okay, so my audience listens to this type of podcast. You know, there's all these business podcasts, for example. And so if you've written it for that correct audience, then it plays very nicely right into being able to market it for those types of podcasts to get it in front of the right type of people, the right audience, and it just leads right into, you know, then people being really interested in it. Or they simply don't even think about the marketing until the very end, and then you have this book that you're like, well, I'm not sure what to do with it because I kind of just threw it together and wrote it, and, you know, we tried publicizing it, and it just doesn't go anywhere because it's not for the audience, the right audience, and we're pushing something in a particular space that doesn't fit that space.
Yeah, that's so good, right? Like, so some people will just do the thing where it's like, I wrote the book and we'll just assume it's for the right audience, right? Well, let's start with the wrong audience. So our example, right? So then they're putting it on all the podcasts or maybe they're targeting all the media outlets where they think CEOs are watching, right? CEOs are watching, right? But like, not the people that would hire them, right? They're listening to different podcasts, they're watching different shows. So knowing the person ultimately that you're trying to get in the hand and where their attention is, right? So my good friend Gary V, not my good friend, but like in a chat, right? Like said about attention, what he says is people are always trying to get people to divert their attention over to them. So like, look at me. What you need to do is go get in front of the people. Like you go find where their attention is and you stand in front of them. And what most business owners are doing is not doing that, but instead trying to get the people to divert their attention over to where they are.
And it's how you can fit into what these people are already talking about. So and the producers of a podcast or the editors of a particular publication or of a TV show, they know their audience pretty well, and they know what their audience wants and needs and likes to have in terms of either entertainment value and information and all of that. They know their audiences really well. You have to fit in with what you're putting out there into that audience. And so if you've already figured out what that audience is from the very beginning and what you're targeting with the book, it lends itself right into publicizing for the media that fits that audience. And you'll be able to convince the producers and editors that you are perfect for their audience because I wrote this book for your audience. So it needs to be it needs to be there from the beginning when you're targeting your audience for your book.
This is what I see with a lot of people who call me. They call me after they have the book to start putting together the marketing plan for the book, right?
Yeah.
And what I say is you really should have started this marketing plan before you ever put you should have not just started the plan, you should have started marketing the book before you ever put pen to paper, right? Which how can I market something that's there? You can, and there are ways to do it, right? With teasers and all kinds of stuff to draw the audience in that is going to be excited and anticipate the book whenever you announce the book, right? So the mistake from my point of view is that people are waiting till it's too late. Always kind of resuscitate something maybe, but like they're waiting until they could have had it much easier if they had done that, right? Which means, right, which brings me to mistake number 3. This is the biggest mistake, is they don't marry the two of these, right? Meaning they're not sitting down and thinking strategically and reverse engineering, like I say. So here's my goal. And if I write this, if this is my goal, this is a person whose attention I have to grab. And this is where that person's attention is. This is what that person cares about. So here's how I can talk about what they care about, but also in a way that will get me to my goal, right? So I have to know how to do that, right? Okay, cool. So now I think I know what I'm going to write about, but I want to start building the awareness and like be the expert on this in this way, and like build a list and like connections, like before I start writing, and then I start writing, and then I release a book, right? Like they're trying to do it as two separate things. I write, I market a book, and literally they have to be alongside of each other every single step, right? Along the way.
Yes. To be as successful as possible. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it even comes down to the fact of how they literally structure the book. Are they going to have short chapters, long chapters? Are they going to have lots of bullet points, lots of graphics, lots of charts? Are they going to have an appendix? All that kind of stuff is influenced by what you plan to do with the book and how you're going to market it and who you're going to market it to. And so you have to know all that at the beginning. You have to know that when you start. So.
Yeah. So guys, like if you're noticing, right, when you're doing this, not just because you have a creative outlet and you just want to write a book, just to write a book because it's fun and it's a hobby and it feels good. Like if you're really trying to do it for a true business purpose, right, it's like anything else in your business, guys. You have to kind of devise the right strategy and then really know what you're doing and stick to the strategy. So if you know the strategy first, you won't let yourself get distracted from it by shiny objects or new ideas or the latest thing you see on social media saying, well, this is all you need to market your book. And this is, if you're like, I've got a very clear plan, I've got a very clear strategy, I know exactly where it's going. It's like the decisions are easy. You know exactly what to do when. You don't have to go, oh my God, do I do this first? Do I do that? At what time do I do that? I don't know, which are all the things that are going to derail you, right? And so when I was talking to Katie and Meredith about bringing them on and talking about this, right? What kind of got brainstormed, an idea of marrying the two literally, like not literally. They're already like spoken for. We're not marrying them together, but we are bringing them together because I'm a business coach and this is what I have to do, right? Like for a mastermind that they are running for authors, but really specifically for authors who are writing or have a book or they want to write a next book. Maybe you have a book, you want to write another, you've been thinking about writing another, or you know you want to write one and you just haven't been doing it, right? For business building purposes. Like you're not so concerned about being a New York Times bestseller, although if you write an awesome book, maybe you will be, right? Like, but you're more concerned about, I want a book, I want it out relatively quickly, I need it to advance some goals in my business, I want it to advance some goals, and I'm not doing it. I need help, and I want it to be efficient so that when I spend the effort and the time and the money, because a lot of people think that self-publishing a book doesn't cost any money. I want to say it's still at the lowest can cost like $3,000 to $4,000 with editors and with graphic design and with, so like let's just eliminate the fact that like you could just like write a book on your own and not invest in any kind of help and get it done, not to reach your goals, right? But like this is the program for you if that's you, if you had a book and it didn't go as great and now you want to kind of take another stab at it, or you just want to write your first book and you know it's for building your business. You know you want to get on the news because you want more clients. You want to get on the news because you want better speaking, or you just want better speaking and you just need to market to the conferences. You don't even necessarily want to get on the news, or what you want to get published, or you want to get like on one of these in a newspaper or something like that, right? Like if this is you, then you might be interested in this program, right? So, because I did it, it's like you guys are like little magic and you have to like create this little mastermind and you guys have to go and run with this because people need this. So because it's a considerable amount of time. And even if you do it at the low end of self-publishing, it's still a couple $1,000s investment. And if you didn't get strategic about it and what you end up with is something that does not get you to your goal, right? Then you have wasted two of your most important assets, your time and your money. And from a CEO perspective, that's unacceptable when you're running your business, right? So if you're putting on the CEO hat for your own business, you must first have a strategy and have them work together and have all the pieces in place so that it works for you and you reach your goal. And that's what this mastermind will do. And I haven't seen anything like it out in the world. And so after it got created, I was like, well, I want to tell my group about it first, guys. Like I just helped you brainstorm this thing and I want to tell my audience about it like relatively soon. So if they want in, they can get in. So like who wants to tell me about the program? Who wants to tell me that?
I'll start. So we actually started it based, like we said, from brainstorming and also from the program you're going through right now, Rita, and grew it out. And so really it is that there is a formula. So we keep hearing everyone's, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. All of those things. And so we realized we can just literally walk you through it step by step by step, through the whole process, marrying the PR with the writing, with the planning, all that kind of stuff. And so that was kind of the basis, as we realized we had this framework that broke up so nicely, to just get you right there, right to the doorstep of writing your book.
Yeah. But Katie, tell me a little bit about the structure of the program, because that's something that we definitely just talked about as well, right, as we fleshed it out. So like people are like, oh my God, this sounds good, but how much time, how long is this going to take? Like, is it virtual? I live in California. Am I able to like attend? Is this like a in-person thing? Like, tell me a little bit about like how all of that works.
We decided that we wanted to have it be enough time, but not be overwhelming for people, because the whole writing a book and publicity certainly can be really overwhelming. So we're doing 6 90-minute Zoom calls, so you can be anywhere and you literally just hop on the Zoom calls, and we're going to have it where we have something tangible for you to work on and do every single week. And so we're going to meet every other week and have 6 calls, but it's 12 weeks total, because on the alternate weeks that we don't meet on the Zoom, we're going to have a lot of accountability with matching you up with other people in the group, but also have access to a Facebook group and have access to Meredith and I. Meredith and I are going to have office hours. So we're really going to be propelling you, but giving you that other week to really work on the things that need to be done to make this successful for you. And really 12 weeks is not a ton of time, but it's a good amount of time to feel like you're really going to be sinking your teeth into this stuff, but we're all going to be supporting each other throughout the whole entire process. And so
what is it that I walk away with in my hand at the end of 12 weeks? Because I don't know, maybe it's a actual written book, or it's just the outline for the book and the plan. Like what can people really legitimately expect in 12 weeks?
So at the end, you will walk away with a full fleshed outline plus a marketing plan, or the beginnings of your marketing plan. You'll know your audience, you know who your targets are. You will have an actual breakdown of all the chapters that are going to be in your book, what each chapter is going to be about, what your objective is, all that kind of stuff. So you are ready to literally sit down. All you have to do is now fill it in. Put the actual content into it. Or if you wanted to explore the world of traditional publishing, that basically constitutes a full book proposal that you can then take and submit to agents and publishers and all of that.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to set that expectation, and people were like, oh my God, I'm going to have a book and I'm going to have it in 12 weeks. It's like, you're going to almost have a book. You're going to almost have a book in 12 weeks, right? Like, let's just give it a little bit of extra time, right? But like,
it does take more than 12 weeks to write it. That's just really the planning part. And the planning part is the part that people gloss over and think they can breeze through. And that's the part that they get stuck. They get stuck in that first beginning phase planning part. And so this is going to, hand you this plan that after 12 weeks that you just have to then go and write it. And you'll also know what your targets are for marketing the book and publicity. And, everybody's going to get some really good concrete ideas. And if people sign up early, they get some bonuses too.
We're going to get to that. Let's get to that in a second. So the one thing that I really want to stress right about it is that most people that are coming to me are saying, I keep getting writer's block. I just keep putting, like, I sit down, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write, right? Like, so walking away with this plan, you're gonna not just like, oh, I'm going to talk about this in chapter 1. It's like, no, it's a literally like a detailed outline, so that when you sit, it flow. It's almost all like kind of written for you. You just have to add in the story, or you have to add in the stuff, or you have to add in like a little bit, right? But that's what holds most people up. I don't like that piece. And also, having somebody like Meredith and Katie that you can ask real-time questions too, right? It's like, Meredith, I'm stuck. Like, I sat here forever. I can't think about like what to put in this chapter. Like, you're going to have Meredith say, okay, let's brainstorm it out. Let's figure it out. What kind of thing makes sense to talk about? So you can't get stuck, right? Like, on our own, we can be rocking and rolling. And then when we hit a wall and we get stuck, it derails us. Like, it can like throw the whole thing off, right? But here you're going to have that ongoing support so you don't get stuck. So when you walk away, it's like, yes, I've got my book proposal, or I've got what I need to go and pass it on to a ghostwriter, or I have what I need to be able for me to go plug in the rest of the stuff with ease, right? So I want to stress that like the number one thing is really that writer's block feeling of I don't really know exactly what to say or what order or what structure. You're going to have real-time support like to help you do that, to help you figure all of that out. And that's like really incredible, right? So 12 weeks of I know Katie's rates because she's my client. So like I can just tell you, right, that if you were to hire Katie for like 6 months, you're talking like $25,000, right? So if you're hiring Katie for even what is this? It's
3 months, yeah,
12
months,
weeks, right? Like that's like $12,000 to $15,000 depending, right? So I am mad. And then Meredith, I know as well, right? Like rates are, if you were just hiring her one-on-one, it's very similar, right? So you're looking at like a $30,000 like in coaching investment if you were to hire these people separately, right? I can't imagine the mastermind is $30,000. So like, I don't tell the audience, Katie, like, tell us, Katie, what is the investment cost of the mastermind?
So we're opening the cart to sign up actually later today. We're really, really excited. So we're going to open this cart up today, hoping that we can get some people in there to fill out the application. And if you do this now, you are going to get this 12-week program for $597.
Wow.
Okay, like the most amazing price ever. We're doing a really amazing launch price to get this thing going for people. And yeah, if you wait, it goes up to $997, which is still a fraction of the price of what it's worth. We figure out just for the mastermind itself, it's definitely worth over $4,000 with everything that you walk away with. And we do have other things like, a press release template, because a lot of people are like, I don't even know how to write a press release. And I get hired to just write, the press release and put it out there for people. And that's worth a lot of money, like right then and there. So you'll get a template for that from me. And I know Meredith has a really exciting bonus too. And so we're really excited to do this for only $597, you guys. That's
good. And I'm a big believer, my community knows I'm a big believer in a launch price when it's the first time that you've run the program, because you're going to get a lot of value from the participants, like telling you and helping you kind of co-create the program, right? So I imagine, like this is going to be almost like a little living, breathing program for the people who are running through it, and that you're going to be able to kind of bend and flex to what you notice needs to be addressed in that. So the people who are participating are kind of like getting it, like it's created, but like having it adjusted as the real needs are kind of met so that you're really running that program right. So I've been in programs like that before. I've run programs like that before. And I know they're very valuable because those programs, although the launch ones, tend to be the ones where the participants are getting a lot of individualized real-time, like in the moment, because it's like, oh, this isn't going the way we thought. We actually need to make this week about that because that's where the majority of the group is at. And like, right. And like, then it's solidified, then it's set. And then usually rounds are just following that structure. Right?
Yeah. We're really hoping to learn from this first group of people as well. So that's why we're doing this at such an amazing price.
So we've got the $597 launch price. We have the bonus, the press release bonus that you said, Meredith. What's a bonus you're throwing? I know you've got to be throwing in a bonus.
Yes, we're going to throw in a mock-up of the cover of your book. So it helps to have visuals. It helps to be able to picture it. So our cover designer, who's brilliant, is going to work with every person and help them just come up with a basic front cover mock-up.
Oh my gosh, that's so great, right? That's so great because like that's the thing where I've seen people like go to, what are these, 99 Designs and all this, having all these people like do these, I'm like, that's the thing, the cover is the thing, right, that catches the attention, right, or we'll just, if you put it in front of people, we'll like get their, and that's the hardest thing, I think, if you are not creative at all, to even know where to start. I have seen some pretty bad covers for books, and it could be the best book ever. And if the cover doesn't relay what you need it to that person whose attention you're trying to capture, it's done, right? 5 seconds is what you have to catch attention of people. And so
for publicity too, it's really important.
Is it like for the media to care about it? Like,
yeah, because I do
boring book on the new, right? Like, oh, look at this book that looks like a third grader like wrote the cover. Great.
Yeah, and it's also one of the things that I think people wait until the end to figure out. But if you can have it kind of planned, it can also then spark how the book is written, and so it's perfect.
I love that. So we got the press release, we got the book cover, we have $5.97. Did I miss anything? Is that right? So how long is this, the bonuses and the launch price out? When is this happening? I don't even think that. When does it, like, we know it's 12. When does it start? When does it end? When do people need to like lock in to have this rate? Like, tell me about that.
So it starts in a couple of weeks. That's why we're opening the cart today, and we're going to have it open for the early bird for about a week, and that's it. Then it's going to go up to the regular price, but it starts the week of September 16th. So it starts, now so that we can kind of wrap up before the winter holidays really get going. And then you have a plan to go into the new year with writing this book and to make like 2020 the year that you actually do your book. And you actually
that's really cool, right? I like that. Like, that's a great way to roll into the new year. How big is the group? So I know that's always a question. How much attention will I get? Is this going to be like 80 people in the group on Zoom and I don't get to even really ask a question, or like, what's the size of the group?
It is 6 people. We're only letting in 6 people.
It's like a lot of attention, like a lot of people. Yeah, that's for $5.90. That's amazing. Like, that's amazing. So we're gonna put the link in the comments to this video on where you guys can go to find out about this program. And if you guys do, sign up from the All-In Entrepreneur, right? Let me know that you signed up, because I'm going to throw in a bonus as well. And I'm trying to think of what the best bonus in terms of the book world, right? Because they're going to do a lot of the coaching for you in terms of like your target market and things like that. But I think what I want to help bring into the picture is like then, right, attracting the speaking or the clients, depending on what you're trying to do. So there's going to be something based on who signs up. I think I'm just waiting to see like, what is your need? And I have something to give you. So like, because there's more. After you have the book, after you know how to market it, you still are really doing it for usually more money and more clients. And that's the piece. It's like, they're not going to take you like there. It's like, oh, how do I, like run my Facebook community or do this thing in a way that blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm there to help you with the visibility and marketing outside of like the media. I'm going to be there to help you with your like client goal strategy, sales strategy, revenue generation strategy from this and all of that. So I'm going to think of the right kind of bonus, but I had not talked to them about that. I just decided that here. I'm like, I think there's a piece missing out of this party. And I think, and so I'm just going to throw in a bonus for anybody from my community that signs up. So if you do sign up and you saw it here in the All-In Entrepreneur, just let me know that you signed up, and then I will figure out what you're.
So we'll put a spot on the application that tells us how they came to find it. And so, put in Rita on that application, or All-In Entrepreneur in that application.
And then I'll know, and I'll, me, I come up with something amazing, guys. So you'll get, and yeah, like, I'm so excited for you guys. It's going to be good, right?
We're really excited. And we, and I don't want anybody to think like, oh, I have to apply. It's just a couple of quick questions so that we make sure first that it's a really nice group of like-minded people. And so we're not going to have people, far afield. We're going to have people that can actually help each other through this too, because you guys can relate to each other when you're going through this process together the most. So
well, that's the thing, right? The momentum really is, and I'm working with Meredith one-off, and that was not a strategic choice as much as my schedule choice, right? Like if I had the ability, I would prefer to be in a group for something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I would want other people when I'm starting to feel the lack of momentum, or when I'm starting to feel a little confused, or when I can't remember what something was. Like I want, and it's not time to talk to you guys yet, or I would want those people, right? Like, and then also just for well, where are you going to conferences? What are you doing? All that information that comes from people that are doing the same thing as you, right? Like that's what I prefer. And so that's why I love that you're bringing these people together, right? It's going to be great. So,
and everybody can talk all they want in the private Facebook group.
Yeah,
and it's really easy to do. So
yeah, because then you can get feedback, and especially after, right? Even though like the program with Meredith and Kate, like what will happen with the connections that you created will carry you through for as you're shopping your book proposal, or as you're writing out the actual content of your book, with people who heard every step along the way are going to hold you to what it is that you said, right? So it's like you've got that support in place to carry you through after too. So
that's a really good point. Yep.
I know it is, right? You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for being here today. Everybody watching, I'm so sorry again we could not be here live. Hopefully you found this informative. You found it helpful. Follow Meredith. Meredith, where can they follow you?
At Eaton Press across all the platforms.
And how about you, Katie?
I'm KT Media Strategies is my website, and I'm KT Media Booker.
Okay. All right. On Twitter.
But we have a lot of information just on our own pages also, and we've been going live on our stuff too. So if you start following us, you'll see our lives that will talk even more about all of this.
Cool. And like I said, I'll put the link to the program in the comments, or one of you guys can. I don't know the link. So one of you put the link in the comments after I post this, please. And you guys can go check it out. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out to Katie or Meredith. They're more than happy to just chat it through with you and make sure that it's a good fit for you. And if you want to chat with me and see if a book is the right fit for you at this time, like I'm more than, you know me, I will tell you what you should be spending your time on and what you should not be spending your time on. So feel free to ask me as well, and we'll figure it all out. But I'm excited to see a lot of books kind of like come out into the world in 2020, right? What a great year for it. So thank you guys, and thank you everybody for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.